Maybe one example of the Quran being a linguistic miracle, for people who are not maybe too familiar with Arabic language, is Surah As-Saffat. This is one that sometimes a lot of people who don't know the Arabic language, they attack. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِنَّ إِلْيَاسَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And verily, Elias was from the messengers. The verses continues, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of it, He says, Salamun ala Ilyasin. Peace upon Ilyas. But unlike the first verse in the sequence, here Ilyas is in what? It's in plural. Ilyasin is in plural. Ilyas is in singular. So Ilyas is singular, Ilyasin, so people get confused. There's no two Ilyases, right? And people will often attack this. But the Arabic language, oftentimes when it uses nouns, ism of the other language, or which come from an origin of another language, it lists them with a plural, it adds a plural to them. So Ilyas, originally coming from Hebrew, here it's referred to as Ilyasin. Now why is it important? Because the grammatical sequence is not broken, but the rhyme sequence is maintained. And that gives the Quran its linguistic capacity, but at the same time to keep a melodious tune. So you go, وَإِنَّ إِلْيَاسَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَلَا تَتَّقُونَ أَتَدْعُونَ بَعْلًا وَتَذَرُونَ أَحْسَنَ الْخَالِقِينَ اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ وَرَبَّ آبَائِكُمُ الْأَوَّلِينَ فكذبوه فإنهم لمحضرون إلا عباد الله المخلصين وتركنا عليه في الآخرين سلام على الياسين إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين. So you see how you keep the entire rhyming sequence without breaking the flow of the grammar. And the Arabs used to marvel at this in terms of the Quran, that it would use multiple rhyming notes and rhythms. Because poetry has what? Poetry has different classes and different ranks of poetry. And the Quran in singular chapters can flow between one and another while keeping the rhyme sequence, not breaking the grammar, maintaining the meaning, and speaking about a story that happened in a different historical context, a different time, and still conveying the message that is needed to be done. Because usually the poet, if any of you guys would be familiar with music, a poet will break grammatical rhythm in order to what? Keep the rhyme sequence. And sometimes they keep the rhyme sequence, but they're not able to make any sense in terms of the story arc. At no point in the time, at no point in anything does the Quran ever break grammatical rules while keeping its rhyme sequences, while maintaining absolute historical accuracy and conveying the message. And the Quran does this over a period of what? 23 years. Coming from the mouth of a man who could not read or write. You're left with having to say, okay, where